shines down upon me, and there's a light that brightens up my day. There's a light leading the way. Oh, there's a light. There's a light. There's a light that opens doors for everyone. Oh, there's a light that touches hearts. There's a light to open everyone to love. Help me hold the answer we are looking for. Help me open up another door of light. Oh, there's a light. Oh, there's a light. Open up in everyone. Can you feel it? There's a light to change the world. Won't you be a part of the light? Oh, love, it is the answer now, and we can see love. There's a light. There's a light that shines inside and out. Oh, there's love.
Oh, yes, indeed. There's a light right here on WWNN 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, and 96.9. We are answering your questions all across the nation at 888-565-1470. And tonight, we're tuning into that voice. That voice that's the inner voice, that guidance, that inner feeling that tells you, I got a feeling that you know exactly what to do. So why is it that we don't listen to that voice? Why is it that we disregard the momentum that builds inside of us, trying to prompt us to go in a different direction? Oh, but we lose ourselves in our heads. We lose ourselves in the energy of the thought process and the confusion. But the universe is always communicating with you. There's always this divine prompting. I kind of call it the nudge. And when they nudge and you don't answer, they push, right? And then there's that feeling inside that says, you've got to listen. So that feeling that comes in is your inner divine knowing. It's the connection to the divine. It's that song of someone's knocking on the door, somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor, open the door and let 'em in. Oh, yeah. We've got to let it in. We've got to let the feeling come through. So many of us are driven by our routine and what we do on a daily basis. And we lose ourselves in the day-to-day routine. And we don't stop to pause and feel the moment of what we're doing and how we're doing it. I had a conversation with someone earlier today. It was about a relationship. So many of you have relationship questions. But there's always a prompting, an inner feeling inside that kind of gives you that indicator, that green light, that yellow light, that red light, and tells you where the relationship is. And she was feeling a kind of way, a little angst, a little uncomfortability, not knowing where the relationship was going to go, and feeling the slight disconnect. But eternally, we will all feel this energy of disconnect from time to time because there's this eternal growth spurt that we have to all go through. There's this power of shifts and change in the human emotions. So the relationship is going through a change. But she's worried about what happens a few years from now. But in this moment of now, there's contentment, there's happiness, there's joy. It's working. It's just she's noticing some different energy. So does she worry and lose herself in the worry? Or does she just allow it to come to the surface without trying to figure out what it is, and then superimpose her thoughts and her fears into the relationship and complicating something? And the individual is going through a major change. There's loss, there's mourning, there's death in the family. So, of course, the relationship isn't going to be the same dynamic. It's not about her. It's about where this individual is at their crossroad in their personal and spiritual growth. And it's about them grieving and stepping into a new way of life without their relative. And we've all been there. And where have you been in your life where you've been in a story, maybe not the same story, but you found yourself taking something personally that really wasn't about you? And your inner self was saying, your higher self was saying, hey, it's okay. Everything's fine. Be at peace. We've got your back. Your angels are with you. Your guides are with you. There's an investment in time. This experience is playing out for the highest good, and just trust what happens next. But then we get our personality and our wounded feelings involved in the storyline underneath the surface, and now we have two voices going on inside of us. One is the fearful voice that says, oh my God, I don't want to get hurt again, or oh my God, I don't want to get fired, or I don't want this company to close, I might have difficulty finding a new job, or I don't want the doctor to tell me there's something really wrong with me, and we put ourselves in this tailspin. All counterproductive to us creating and being centered and in peace, knowing that there's a prompting that will lead us to all the right opportunities and experiences and wisdom that we need to navigate anything. But we all have an experience of growth. And that growth spurt is all about us discerning between our higher inner voice, the one that's divinely connected, and the mindless chatter that goes on inside of our heads that makes us hesitate and feel uncomfortable in situations based on past experiences and conditions. Now, yes, our past has taught us greatly. Each one of us has learned tremendous lessons from our past experiences. But just because we experienced a story one way does not mean it has to play out in the same fashion as it did before. And if you notice a pattern, if you notice that it begins to do exactly that, repeat the pattern, then we have to take a step back, because the common denominator is you, and most often you're taking the past story and throwing it into the future and tripping yourself up. Because we are complicated. And the interesting thing about this spiritual journey is we are all here learning how to navigate experiences, seeing, feeling, hearing, touching, the sensories of life, and managing our personalities and other people's personalities and their wounds and our wounds. And yet God says, just be peaceful. Peace, be still. Be centered in yourself. Find that inner guidance and that knowing. This is all where we are. We are all in this learning curve of experiences. So the inner voice is nudging you to find peace And I always say to people, how does it make you feel? Do you feel like you are safe and rewarded? Do you feel as if you're being seen and heard? Do you feel the connection? Does it bring some sense of stillness or harmony within? Is there that bubbling feeling of joy that comes up for you? You see, the divine speaks in many ways. There's a feeling that you get. Sometimes you actually get a sense of an outer voice that says, it'll be okay. Or, go this way, try this. It's that prompting. And then for many of us, the universe will communicate in a series of signs. And then you begin to notice. You notice the patterns that appear. You keep seeing repetitive numbers. Maybe you see a symbolic bird that keeps showing up. I was speaking to someone earlier today, and she was sharing with me how she was seeing ducks and she saw a cardinal. And that gave her a sense of peace and knowing, comfort, if you will, that her grandfather, who had passed, was with her and helping her navigate what was feeling like a bumpy experience at the moment. But as I said to her, this too shall pass. It's part of life. We are all turning up our experiences because life is ramping up to teach us how to stay centered regardless of the chaos that surrounds us. How to be true to ourselves, as we talked about last week. To thine own self be true. Staying centered in knowing who you are, not getting lost in the banter of other people's versions of a story and opinions. Where do you stand? How do you feel? Just because it's predicted that certain things will happen, how do you step forward knowing that you will be abundant and financially sound and being in a great environment? How do you feel this beautiful energy to be who you've come to be and not allow the external storylines to disrupt you? It's all a part of life. And it's all a part of the spiritual version of yourself. We were all birthed, and perhaps your family did not spend much time talking about your spiritual self. They taught you how to deal with the world, how to listen to them and follow what was necessary to survive. Don't touch the stove, it's hot. Be in the energy of the family traditions. Maybe there was a little guilt going on. You know, there's some families, we got some guilt going on. It's like, geez, stop the guilt. But whatever the dynamic is that's going on in your family, that's their way. And as a little one, you had to count on them. They were the ones who gave you food and shelter and assisted you in the journey and helped you become the person you are. But now, as we grow into our adult experience, we recognize what might not work for us. We recognize that some of their fears were passed on to us. And often it's their learned beliefs and fears that are the tape that's playing underneath the surface. This is where the personality and the conditioned human emotions go to battle with the higher self. They're like, no, nothing ever works out for you. Don't take a chance and start something new. But yet you have a feeling. You have that feeling that says, I just feel like I should do that. And when you have that feeling, that prompting, please don't talk to everyone and ask their opinion, because they will only give you the opinion based on their experiences. And if you're feeling it and it's as if it's for you, and the higher self is guiding you, that inner prompting is just whispering, go ahead, give it a shot. Why not? Why not? Many people who are very successful in this world, they have put themselves in this wavelength of following their own intuition. And then, of course, checking with the guidance of others who are the experts in the industries to make sure they have the right business plan or project approach. They're there seeking assistance from those who are the experts. but ultimately they always honor their inner self. I remember when I opened the center, and I had picked my spot, and I was there for just a few months in the same plaza I'm in, and then I looked across the plaza parking lot. Oh, they should never have let me to the door, because I went, look, there's a spot across the way, and it's a big corner spot, and it's got beautiful glass windows, and it's bigger, and I want to go there. That was my feeling. Do you know what that feeling was met with when I shared that with other people? What? You just got in this spot. I'm like, no, I've got to go across the way. And I followed the feeling, even though in some ways it didn't make sense. Build out and start one place only to just 7 months later scuttle across the parking lot and do it all over again, 3 times bigger than where we were. Well, that's what we did. And we formed a sanctuary, a place where people can come and feel the energy and feel the safety and attune to their higher selves, because we've created this environment of peace. Each one of us needs to find a spot, a place to start that environment of peace for ourselves. For some of you, maybe it's just pulling your car over somewhere peaceful and sitting for a few minutes to gather your thoughts. When I pull up to work, I like to sit in the car for a moment and gather my energy and set my intentions for the day. Do you pull up to your job and set your intentions for the day? Or do you fret over what's not working, how things aren't playing out the way you want, or what work or obstacle you may hit the minute you walk through the door? Well, if that's your focus, your conditioned experience is speaking to you, then that's what you will get. But if you sit in the stillness and the oneness and you find that spot, that sweet spot of harmony, and you put yourself in that energy, amazing things are going to happen. The day is going to flow differently. It's going to feel more present, more natural. And you'll surprise yourself. And then you'll look to listen to that inner voice. You'll look to find that stillness. You'll be more open for the guidance. Sometimes people want to go to their boss and ask for a raise. Maybe there's never a good time to ask for a raise, but there's always a great time too when you sit and you're still and you feel prompted. There's always a great time to sit across from your partner and speak, but you'll be prompted. We can't just do it because we're in our reactory self. No, that doesn't mean you can't be who you are and experience things and blurt something out. You're human. But when you pause, when something's important to you and you present it from a settled place, you're seen, you're heard. How many of you feel like you're not being seen or heard? How many of you feel like the world's coming at you at this time in the world and you don't really have a place to create your sacred space, your vision of what you desire? How many of you are feeling stuck and stagnant and would love to make a change, but that conditioned belief that your parents or someone created with you or an experience that's creating fear says, oh, now is not a good time. Oh, goodness, don't make a change. That could be scary. There's always a good time to make a change, and yes, we do need to wait, and some things going on around us, they can impact us. But when I opened the center, I didn't even know anybody in South Florida. But I opened a business. Nobody. But they came, but I knew nobody. So it was the feeling. And you put your shoes on just like I do, 1 foot at a time, and you've got the same inner voice that I do. I've just trained myself to listen. I've just trained myself to choose to be connected to the divine. I've chosen to feel joy and harmony in everything that I do. And put things in the perspective of something's going to work out for me, even though it doesn't appear like it is at the moment. I always trust there'll be a resolution. Even if moments in time feel uncomfortable, something will resolve itself because that's how it always works. And I just learned to go with the flow. And I learned to listen to my inner self. And my inner self says, keep going. My inner self has said, keep going all these years, 13 years, 633 live shows. We've been together, talking, answering questions, each one of us. It is our anniversary month. Not quite our anniversary day yet, but it is our anniversary month. And we are celebrating that. That each one of you has had an opportunity to hear the guidance that comes through me. And it's our souls talking together and gathering in the energy of something higher, greater, stronger, more pure, more divine. That's the connection to the Creator. And each one of you show up authentically, asking your heartfelt questions. And my answers, Spirit's answers, they are here to align with your inner voice. And my hope, my intention, is for me to give you the guidance that on some level, yeah, you kind of knew that already. It was percolating under the surface, but you didn't know if you could trust it. Because you're never alone. Your inner voice is always talking. And you just have to disconnect from the outer chatter so that you know that you are aligned with everything that's divine for you. Well, we're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then we're going to the phone lines at 888-565-1470. My friends on Facebook and YouTube, go ahead, put your question in the chat. We will answer your questions right here, and we'll talk to you on the phone. So each one of us has an opportunity to reach new heights. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah right here on WWNN 1470 AM. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every song.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Are you looking for answers to life's questions? Would you like to connect with your angels and loved ones? Tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. for Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, an interactive call-in show. Call in at 888-565-1470 and speak with Sarah Spiritual. Sarah Spiritual. Let Sarah Spiritual raise you up.
You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor in media. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes, indeed, I've been standing in the room before you knew. Here I am, Sarah Spiritual, and we are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, answering your questions. It's all about you, always all about you. I'm enjoying the conversation there in our wonderful Facebook feed. People are like, I've been on the Sarah Spiritual train since 2016. I've been on for 12 years. Everybody's on the train. So you want to get on the train, 633 live shows. And I'm going to tell you, in 13 years, we barely missed a show. I was just sharing with someone, I think in 13 years, and most of it was because of Christmas or a holiday, we have shown up. And here's the cool part. Every one of you, you just show up. You show up because we're all in this together, and we're learning, and we're growing, and we're expanding. 888-565-1470. If you get a busy signal, hey, that's how it is. Put us on speed dial, and you keep trying. If you're on Facebook, we want to hear from you. We want your birthday. We want to have your question. Be succinct. It makes it easy for me to pull it out. And I'm going to tune in. I'm going to tap in. I'm going to get the guidance that we need. And remember, you've got your inner voice. We're going to collaborate and create. And I hope you stop by my center, the Expedito Enlightenment Center. It is at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in West Palm Beach. Quite an expansive array of everything you could want to metaphysically align with the divine. And I've got all my products, a product line that I think is over 100 products that I create. I am the artisan of spiritual wellness. And we've been creating products to shift energy since 2006. So we're glad that you're on board. We're all aboard the train right now. We're going to our phone lines. And let's see, I've got calls from all across the nation. But I got a feeling I've got to go to Michigan. I wonder what the weather's like. Let's see. Checking in with Kathy in Michigan. Kathy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. Good to connect with you. So how's the Michigan weather?
It's warm today.
Oh, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. And you have this time in your life here that is supposed to be expansive and growing and connecting. But I'm feeling as if you've got this weight on your shoulder and you're not feeling like life is where you want it to be. Does this make sense?
Yes.
And they take out the tissues. Makes me feel like you've been sad. They're showing me tissues. We are sad and lost and mourning at this time, please.
Yes.
Okay.
My daughter.
I'm sorry. And this energy here is, how could this happen? How could this happen? It's like you're walking around the house. How could this happen? Yes?
Yes.
Kathy, when I tune into the energy, they make me aware that at this moment in time, the connection of family has also been a little disjointed because there's so much going on. And they give me a question mark here. Like there's something we don't understand that happened to your daughter. Yes, there's part of the story is not quite filling in. There's a question mark above this, yes?
Well, she's just struggling in her AFT home, and she's run away a few times. And if she runs away one more time, they
Yes.
won't let her come back. And I'm just hoping if you could see if she runs away again, or whether this can be her forever home, because they care for her.
They
the
care
best
for her
way
beautifully.
possible.
They care for her beautifully. So the disjoint in the family is really more the family that cares for her there, the home and the staff, right? Because they're not all on the same page. And I feel as if they are partially, I want to say responsible. That's the word Spirit gives me. There's a responsibility on their part. They could be streamlining this a little bit better so that she doesn't disappear, but they're not quite doing that. And there's difficulty with the meds for your daughter. This is true, yes?
Yes, very much.
And there's a difficulty with her taking the meds. Is this also true?
She hopefully is taking them, I hope.
Hopefully, yes. I see some inconsistencies. So the staff wants to follow up with that. I don't know if they stay right there with her when she's taking them. We want to tell them to keep an eye on that.
Okay.
I spy, right? I see. And we want that because the medicine helps her not run away because it keeps her a little more centered. But she really doesn't want to be there.
Right.
She wants to go to someone else's house.
She wants to come home, and it's to seek food is what it is.
She doesn't like the food there?
Well, no, that's her syndrome, is she can eat herself to death. So they monitor the food, but she's trying to seek it elsewhere so that she can manipulate everybody to get
what she wants.
Food. But I'm just praying to God you can see that she can still stay in this home. They're at their wits' end.
They are at their wits' end, and she's not ready to give up her battle, her obsession here. This is the problem. There's no rationalizing with her irrationality in this
and
story.
No reality.
Yes, yes. And so we can't predict that. But I can tell you what you as a mother can do. I can tell you what you as a spiritual person can do.
Okay.
You can see her, Kathy, in this light, this purple light, transforming and transmuting all of the negative thought patterns and the obsessions that lead her to want to flee. And I want you to see her making a choice that's a different choice than what she's been making. She is difficult to manage, and yes, this is the perfect place for her. And it is the safest place for her as well.
Yeah.
And this is where I feel a sense of family for her. It's a beautiful family energy there. And they're trying their best. And where she is, what is her birthday, please, your daughter?
2697.
Okay. So where she is at this moment is a awakening of her soul. This is the opening of her soul and her stepping into really who she's come to be. And there's some energy when she was at the age of 5. There was difficulty with her at age 5, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Was this when some of it began? Because my guides are taking me back to the time of age 5.
That's when it started to get really hard, yeah.
Okay. That's what they make me aware of. And it's like a chemical triggered in her mind, or in her brain, I should say, and she wasn't able to slow it up. And I don't know that the proper attention was paid at that time to where it may be stemming from. So it wasn't given the proper attention and perhaps medication at that time. And she was so young. And who could have known? But this is when she, and it's interesting, bear with me here, because they're taking me back to another lifetime, because I also wrote the word trauma on my page. And there's trauma around her. But the greatest trauma is trauma from another life that her soul remembers. And she's taking this trauma into this life, coupled with trauma in this life. But in the other life, her trauma was connected to there not being enough of something for her. And she always feels like someone's trying to take something from her. And she doesn't feel safe, even when she is safe. And this is the energy around her. So this is where her soul steps into the energy of time to resolve the karmic traumatic past, time to resolve past life issues. This is when she steps into her divinity. So I want you to see this purple light shining down on her and giving her all the power and speaking to her soul. You sit at a table across from a chair and you imagine your daughter sitting there in front of you and you're talking to her soul. And as you speak to your soul, you say, you're ready to be free of this obsession. We can resolve this energy. Yes, the balance in the body is off, but the soul is stronger than any condition of the human physical body. And you have the power to speak to her soul, to summon her inner knowing and her inner strength, to prevent her from derailing on the path that is to her wholeness and her wellness. This is the path that she's on, and there's no responsibility. There's nothing that you could have done better or differently. This is the journey for her. Whatever the chemical imbalance is, that's what's driving her. So all you can do is leave it in the hands of the divine. I can't give you a guarantee she's not going to run, but I did give you the homework to assist her in staying perfectly still there.
Okay, she needs this home for the rest of her life, and they're willing to do it, but if she runs one more time, they said no.
I understand, but if you keep repeating the pattern and the fear, you're creating it.
Okay.
You know what the odds and the stakes are. You know. But now you need to see it differently. You're a creator with the divine. You've got power. She's not in tune with her power, but you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't call me Kathy. You've got a power. And I want you to see her being in a different pattern than the one she's in. And when we come from fear and desperation, because you're at wit's end too, and I get it, then we open up more fear and desperation, and it swallows us all whole. Look at all the fear that has been magnetized over the entire planet since 2020, right? And we're hopping from one fear to the next. So we saw the effects on the human race. So we all get it. We all know exactly where you stand. We may have our own stories, but we know. And there's not a person listening to this radio show, especially who follows us, who's been a part of this for all these years, that isn't holding, as you and I speak, I get chills saying it, the space of energy to support you. You're not going through this alone. There's millions of people listening to this show, following this show,
Thank you.
Are holding the vibe. And better than us. Let's go to the top, shall we? I've got angels. I've got guides. Archangel Michael, stand in front of that door of that building and do not let her leave. Archangel Raphael, bring her the energy to heal her physical body. Bring her to a knowing of peace. God, whisper in her ear, she's not alone and she's stronger than the feeling she has that's destructive. This is how we navigate these waters. This is how we call upon power that's stronger than you, than me, than any of us. But as a collective consciousness, we can hold a vision. And we're holding it with you, Kathy. They show me the tissues, put the tissue box away. Darling, I'm going to get real New York on you, okay? Stop crying, darling, please. Okay? You're not helping anybody. You got to get centered in yourself. You got to step into your power. All right?
Now, can I tell her words that she'll understand?
Of course. Of course.
Well, what would those words be?
Tell her that she is greater and bigger and stronger than her desire to eat. And she has the power to choose differently. And that she has millions of people praying for her and holding her up in the light. And that all she needs to do is call on her angels to help her. And they'll be there.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I know that we spoke not too long ago.
And all the prayers from everyone.
You're welcome. Dry your eyes now, because we've got work to do. All right?
All right.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Bye for now.
Yeah.
You're welcome. 888-565-1470. And from Michigan, talk about New York, I got to go to Long Island. And I got Tiffany on the line. Tiffany, how are you tonight?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. You have the opportunity to create a boundary and hold your power and create this flow and put you first. This is your time to put you first and create healthy boundaries in relationships and to self-care and self-nurture. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. This is your time to do it. That's what this year is going to represent for you. We've got a new beginning, a fresh start. They make me feel like 2021, 2020. Those were times of shifts and changes. And you're kind of coming up to a new beginning, a fresh start. What is your question for me, Tiffany?
I wanted to know if any of my loved ones that have passed are around me.
Okay. I will step into that energy and see who steps through for you here. And as we do that, you and I will continue to talk. Ask me another question. I will begin to bring them through and see if anyone steps forward for me. What is another question for me going on around you in relationships, please?
Don't really have any relationship questions.
Okay. What's your question?
I guess like financial, if I'm gonna get over this hump that I'm dealing with. There's any,
And
bright
2021 was a little difficult for this too. Things started to unravel then because that's part of those shifts and changes that I saw for you. Yes.
Yes, I started a new job in 21.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So yes, but are we thinking of making some shifts and changes in this lovely job? Is there another area we want to move through to? Because I feel like where you are, it's kind of stuck. There's a box. I don't know that you can grow where you are. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So I'm coming out. You got to find a way because you're working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. And it's time to make a shift. So we either go to a different area of the company or we move on out. Because where you are cannot offer you anything more than where you're at. And I feel, if I may, as if there's someone who's kind of blocking some of that flow, something in the connection of the organization between you and someone. Someone makes me feel like there's something blocking that flow for you.
Yeah.
So pay attention because although you've been recognized, it's like they need you where they've got you, but that's not enough for you. So that's where we move. Yeah. Male energy steps up for me. Father, grandfather energy. Your grandfather passed, please?
Yes, both.
Okay. A father's side of the family, grandfather steps forward. Here is the first one. That's the name that I have on the paper, grandfather energy, please. And he steps forward. But I also feel like the mother side of the family, there was a strong connection to the grandparent on the other side as well, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was like a beloved relationship, a cherished relationship is what they make me aware of. But they're also talking to me about your mother. Something going on with your mother, please, and her health?
Yes.
Okay. Because on the mother side of the family, they make me aware of mother's health. They make me aware that there's a struggle here. What is your mother's birthday, please?
Her birthday is February 27th.
And the year, please?
I think it's 54.
Okay. I know, they don't tell us that. We're on a need-to-know basis. You know, according to my mother, when I found out what her age was, apparently I blabbed it to the whole neighborhood. So, you know, they're not telling me that anymore. So hopefully she didn't tell me the right age. But when I look at mom's energy here, this year has been difficult for her health, correct?
Yeah.
And It's going to carry over a bit towards the end of the year into next year. Okay? She has work to do to get herself in a better place, health-wise. There's something else that she needs to do, another protocol or something health-wise. There's a treatment or something that she needs to do. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But they tell me this too will pass. Your mom's strong. And who's the woman connected to the family who's had this issue with her breath and her breathing, her lungs before she passed? Is this your mother or your great-grandmother? Your mother's mother or your great-grandmother? It's
I'm
on mom's side of the
grandmother.
Okay.
She used to smoke.
Okay. This woman makes me aware of breath and breathing, like the lungs are heavy. This is what she makes me aware of. She stands connected to you all, looking after you. And this would be your mother's grandmother. So that makes sense to me that she would step forward.
Okay.
And you have to take better care of yourself. When I started to talk, I talked about self-care, self-love. This is an important time for you. Do not get stressed. You're losing yourself in stress. You need to relax.
Okay.
Too much at that job. As I scribble out the answer here, they show me the path is greener on the other side if you look. So be open to looking. And stepping into around the time of your birthday towards the end of the year, if they don't change and make a new opportunity for you to move to, you are moving out. Because you're not being paid what you're worth and you're significantly paid less than what you should be paid. So there's more money there for you. You have to choose that.
Okay.
How did you hear about the show, Tiffany?
My aunt and my cousin, they've been telling me to call every time you go on.
Oh, thank you. Well, tell them I said thank you. I would love to connect with you personally and work with you because you have quite a few people on the other side. There's a man who makes me feel as if he's an uncle, so he steps forward as well. So we want to tune into who he is. So I would love to work further with you and your loved ones, but know that they're looking after your mom. You are protected, and your mom's side of the family is shining much love. And your father's father, your grandfather, he steps forward because he's got a strength with him. And he steps forward, he's kind of set in his ways, and he's kind of holding this energy of he's looking guard over you all. So know that you're not alone. I hope that I've been of service to you, and you're glad that you called.
Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate
You're
it,
welcome.
Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye for now. God bless you.
You too.
888-565-1470. I got a feeling we're talking to everyone all across the USA, and we're going to tune in to my friend Stacie Haller. She's calling in. She's going to give us the, Destiny and the Stars update. We got to know what's going on in the stars. Are the stars out tonight? I don't know what's going on, but they're going to be cloudy or bright. She's going to tell us what's coming up. And we're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. My friends on Facebook, keep the questions and the comments coming. We are so glad to be a part of you, and we'll be answering your questions as soon as we get our update from Stacie Haller when we come back in our second hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. So for now, don't go anywhere. Matter of fact, call some friends. Share the love, share the light, share your Facebook page, and tell them come on board. Not only are we going to hear what's happening in the stars, but we're going to hear what Spirit has to say for all of you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's a light that shines down upon me, and there's a light that brightens up my day. There's a light leading the way. Oh, there's a light.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Phone lines are open at 1-888-565-1470. That's 1-888-565-1470.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff.
Raindrops upon my face remind me of dreams erased, just passing by, lost through the drain. Raindrops remind me of dreams I've had before and ways I didn't go because I didn't know the way. Raindrops remind me of the tears that I've cried before when I didn't know where I was. There are so many ways that I could live. There are so many things that I could give. But raindrops, they make me feel like time has the power to heal. So raindrops upon my face
She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up. This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome back to the second hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions and to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in. 888-565-1470. 888-565-1470. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube. And you can share the love and light.
There's a light that shines down upon me, and there's a light.
Oh, yes, indeed. There's a light, there's a light, there's a light right here on WWNN 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, and 96.9. And we are answering your questions all across the nation at 888-565-1470. And I got a feeling that the stars are going to come out, and we're going to hear from Stacie and see what's happening. You know that planet Mercury? Do you know that thing that happens when it goes retrograde and all things go crazy? All heck breaks loose? It's a-coming. And Stacie's going to help us navigate that and give us some insight as to how it's going to impact all of us, each individual astrological sign. We're going to take a look. We're going to tune in, tune up, and see what's happening. Leave your comments and your questions in Facebook and on YouTube. And, oops, I hear the phones ringing. 888-565-1470. When we are complete with our conversation with Stacie, you know we're going back to your questions right here on WWNN, the first Wednesday of the month. I was going to say Monday, but first Wednesday of the month. Stacie's here live and always telling us what to expect. So let's bring her on, Miss Stacie Haller of DestinyInTheStars.com. Stacie, what's in my destiny?
Oh, we got a whole lot of energies going on this month, Sarah.
I got a feeling it's going to be shaking some stuff up, babe. It's
crazy.
crazy.
A lot of shaking going on.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, line us up, give us some insight, and give us a heads up if we need to duck. Because if I need to duck, like here I'm at the radio station, there's a big table. I'll be under the table. Just tell me when to duck.
You know you could run, but you can't hide. So it's better to know what we're looking at and how to navigate this month, because there's a lot of powerful energies going on. So, yes, you mentioned the Mercury retrograde right off the bat.
Yes.
That comes in on May 10th, and that goes to June 6th. Now, it's in Gemini. Mercury is the planet of communications, and it's right at home in Gemini. So, everybody, think before you hit that send button. Anything with having to do with communication. Those are the things that get tripped up. So have a lot of patience with traveling and making plans that might get canceled. But as we know, retrogrades are a great time to redo, reassess, reconnect.
Yes.
So rather than starting new things, it's a great time to look back and figure out, how do I finish up that project I started? Or maybe I need to take a look at this again. Or people from the past just show up, right, Sarah?
Oh, Lord, please. Who let them out? Oh, yes. But the past has a way of coming back, right? And it's to close up and tie off loose ends, right, Stacie? It's to say, yep, that's not for me. Yep, oh, wait, I have something else I need to say. So we can close the chapter once and for all.
I really have grown to have a fondness for retrogrades. Of course, not the stuff that trips us up, but the time that we get to relook at things and reassess, it's like the cosmos hitting the pause button. Mm-hmm. Stop, take a look, let's figure this out. Because as we talk about the different energies in the month, it's all about finding our own truth and how we're going to navigate our life. So what you were talking about earlier as well, right?
Yes.
So I will say a lot of the energies are going to be pushing us this month because it's the kickoff of eclipse season. And talking about destiny and purpose, eclipses, there are 4 of them a year. And they're very tied to the nodes, those of you who are familiar with astrology. So there is an extra purpose, an extra destiny energy attached to these eclipses. So that's why we're going to talk about how this new moon and the solar eclipse that just happened on the 30th is really going to be an overriding energy for the next 6 months, as all eclipses last 6 months.
Yes, and the nodes. Are we going to be in the North Node for this one?
Well, there's always 2 nodes because they're on a path of the cycle of the moon. So the nodes do get involved depending on where the moon is, but it's always connected to destiny. It's always connected to what happens in your past life and where the opportunities are in this life. So it's showing us also by where this falls in your houses, which we'll talk about, where this is shining for you, where these opportunities are. And solar eclipses are about acknowledging truth. So they do bring upheavals. And yet it's in Taurus, which is very grounding and fixed. Taurus doesn't like to move so fast. So it's really going to give us time to, what kind of energy do we want to put out for the next 6 months?
And it's a great time to make some things happen. If we've been feeling that energy, it's kind of like a little kick in the pants. Get moving. If you're going to move, make it happen, right? It's to get us going.
It's the opportunity for us. We talk about a lot the new moons being the cosmic vision board. It's an opportunity to really focus on where do you want to be, where do you want to go, what do you want to imagine in moving forward to your higher good. So that's why the opportunities show up as to where this eclipse falls in what house. And then, of course, we have the full moon lunar eclipse on the 16th, and that's another powerful time where it's more about the endings and getting rid of things that aren't working for you.
Absolutely. So how is this going to impact all the different signs?
Well, we'll rock around the zodiac clock, okay?
Yes.
So we'll start off with Aries. Now, for our Aries friends, this solar eclipse is happening in your 2nd house. That's all about money and values. So it's a time to look to get paid for what you are worth. Align your money making with your values. Make sure they're aligned. A good time to set financial goals. And pay attention, everybody, to your sun sign and if you know your rising sign, because one may resonate more for you if you know both. But Aries, it's about money and your values. Taurus, happy birthday, Taurus. This is your 1st house, so it's time for you to think, what are your personal goals? Maybe you want a new look, a new outlook, a change. You need to put yourself out there because this is about you. Gemini, this is in your 12th house. This is the behind the scenes. It's time for self-reflection, meditation. Slow down. Think about you and the changes you want to make on a deeper level. What's going on in your subconscious of working out some old karma. Cancer, this is in your 11th house. Friends, groups, goals, dreams. You're looking for changes with your friends and your groups that you need to align with you. So if the people you're hanging out with are not good for you, they're not aligned with your greater good, it's a time to expand. Expand your professional network. And I'll add, during the retrograde, Cancers, go reconnect with people that you've lost touch with. That could be good in your life moving forward for you. Leo, 10th house, career, out in the public, get out and shine, Leos. This could be a game-changing time for you. It could be a new job. It could be a promotion. Get out in the world, look at your career. This is a changing time for you for the positive. And Virgo's in the 9th house. The 9th house is about being out in the world, your philosophy. Go on an adventure. Learn something new. Pair up with a good friend together and expand your horizons. Libra. For you Libras, it's always about relationships, but it's in your 8th house, so it's really about your very close, intimate relationships. And it's time for you to figure out what do you need from those very close, intimate relationships and where do you want them to go. And Scorpio, it's in your house of relationships in the 7th house, so for you it's learning balance in relationships, and it's being who you are and being who you can be at your very best so you could deepen your relationships with either business or personal. Sag, this is about your day-to-day life. Pay attention to your health, Sag. Now's the time to check out your eating habits, check out your exercise habits, make a to-do list. Now you can get things done. Capricorn, this is in the 5th house of romance. Now, I'll share a little piece of information for everyone. When there is a new moon in the 5th house, that very often signals a new romance could start then. So for you Capricorn people, it could be the start of something new. There's a new romance energy out there for you. Be creative. Aquarius, this is in the house of home. Spruce up your home. Fix it up to make it feel more secure for you. The 4th house could also be about your early home life. So you have an opportunity to heal some early wounds so you can move forward. And that's why this eclipse is so karmic in that sense for you. And Pisces, house of communications. Connect with your community. Connect with friends. Pisces, bring out your empathy and your passion and show how you could contribute to the world and add and make things flow better. So we all have an opportunity here, Sarah, to really push ourselves forward in our general transformation. You know, Pluto is also retrograde, so we're all looking on a very big picture and on a micro level with each one of us going through a time of change and transformation.
And that's important. That's important. And as this whole shift with Pluto comes about, it's going to impact us globally as well, yes?
Pluto is one of, if not the most powerful planet that we have. It really, when it wants to make a stand, we have no choice. It's making us transform. And what is really interesting now is our country is in a Pluto return in Capricorn. And Capricorn is all about business and governments and structures and exposing other influences. So if you take a look, which isn't hard to do, about what's going on in our country right now, it is such a reflection of this Pluto return that came back to the original spot in our planet's natal, in our country's natal chart. So we are all being forced within our own lives and as a country, and as well as our greater consciousness, to go through this evolution.
And isn't it coming back to this spot, and it hasn't really been this way above America since like the 1700s? Since
Well, Pluto moves very, very slowly.
But to land at this spot.
Yeah. And, well, we talk, you and I have spoken, too, about when these very powerful planets return to the same spot in your natal chart. It always means a major upheaval. It always means a major event. So we see it happening, right?
Yes.
Clearly, right before our eyes.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Stacie, thank you so much for sharing this information with everyone here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. If anyone would like to connect with Stacie, which I strongly advise, getting the guidance that you need for your natal chart, for your solar return on your birthday, Stacie's the go-to person to get strong, solid guidance and the influence of the stars. You can go to destinyinthestars.com and connect with Stacie. You can also find her on my Sarah Spiritual page at sarahspiritual.com. And be sure to register for your own personal session with Stacie. It's going to be mind-blowing, and it's really going to give you some really total aha moments that really let you know where you are, why you were where you were, and what you've got to look forward to. Thanks so much, Stacie, as always, for sharing your wisdom and your connection to the stars. Greatly appreciate you, and we'll talk to you at the beginning of next month. Bye for now.
Bye, Sarah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. 888-565-1470. I've got a feeling we're going to be back to the phone lines, but first, I know we want to hear from our sponsors of WWWNN and Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, so stay with us. We will be right back.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. We've got a feeling you'll want to listen to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah Wednesday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. for insightful, intuitive messages. Sarah Spiritual is a spiritual advisor and transformational coach who will assist you. Join Sarah Spiritual for a powerful 2 hours of life's questions and Spirit's answers. I've got a feeling you'll love Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, 6 to 8 p.m. Wednesday. Got the feeling? Just call 888-565-1470.
You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
I've been standing here before you walk through the door. Do you know me? I am Sarah Spiritual, and we are Spiritually Speaking with all of you all across the nation. Let's pull up a Facebook question before I go to New York, because I've got people that are holding, but my Facebook peeps, they were talking. I got a YouTube question right here before me. Jane Bode, she's like, I'm taking a chance now. I'm moving out of state, but my finances are screaming. They're screaming, how you think you're going to get there? What can I suggest? Jane, first thing I say here is that you do want to take stock and take a look at how you're going to get there. It is definitely time for a change, definitely time for a move. But we do need to make sure things are in order, because when we land, we most certainly have to be sure we have enough money to support ourselves and land on our feet with employment. So you've got the feeling, you've got the nudge. And sometimes, because the universe, the inner voice gives you, Jane Bode, your feeling inside, we have to kind of sit and be still with it and have them point the next path for you. So we don't always react. We have to kind of let it unfold. And this is what trips us all up, the unfolding. We've got to be in the unfolding. So I would say be still for just a bit longer, because I feel like the world is going to get ready to make some shifts and changes, and you want to time it just right. And so I'm kind of leaning towards the energy after the month of July. Don't make any major moves during Mercury retrograde. That'll go boom when we're done. So we don't want to go crashing into something. So thanks, Jane Bode, for your YouTube question. We appreciate the question and following us. And we will be speaking again soon, I'm sure. Who else do we have on our Facebook feed? We've got Anna Garcia. Anna Garcia says, hello, Sarah. I'm struggling. She's just trying to keep it together in this current relationship. She's like, oh, Lord, it's making her pull her hair out. And I see why she's struggling. You know, I see here that, Anna, the difficulty here is the two of you are not speaking the same language, and you are in this place of you're ready. You're ready for connection, community. You're ready to expand. It's supposed to be a great money year for you. There's growth and finances rolling down towards you. But emotionally, you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. Woohoo. And it's feeling a little out of sorts. So right now, you're not speaking the same love language. I don't feel like he gets you. I feel like he's stuck and he's stubborn and the energy's not flowing. The messages are not consistent here. Take a step back, my dear Anna Garcia, and do not allow it to hook into the part inside of you that is questioning whether you're feeling good enough or worthy and what are you doing wrong, what's not working. I need you to just observe, is this really the person that I feel I want and I can count on for the rest of my life? And this is a big question because you're looking to have this strong connection and have it sustain the test of time. And right now, his major shift that's here for him is kind of an expansive move for his work, for career. He's got a lot going on, but I just feel him very standoffish. Anna Garcia, let's continue this conversation. I sure would love to connect with you for a personal reading session. If you go to sarahspiritual.com, we can go into some of the specificities that are behind the scenes in all of this. And thank you so much for following the show. I know that you've been a part of it for a while. We appreciate you. Thank you for your question. We're going to go to New York. New York, it's a heck of a town. And we've got Rachel on the line. Rachel, how are you?
Hey, Sarah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, so winds, change, blowing, moving, time to make change. Are you feeling this nudge to make a shift, make a change, can't keep repeating the same patterns? Is that what you're feeling at this time?
Yeah, I know there's going to be some movement soon.
There is.
For sure.
There is.
I don't know how soon, and I don't know what direction, but I know it's happening.
It is happening. And let me share with you that as we put the foot upon the path and take you to your birthday, that's where I feel that things start to open up so you have a clearer direction as to where do I go from here. Right now, you're at the crossroads. And there's much opportunity that will come. However, Rachel, doors have to close for you in order for something new to prompt you to go in a new direction. And so creating an ending of things that no longer serve you, allowing it to just go, will serve you the best as you move yourself into the 2023 energy. And then in 2024, you're sailing high. Everything is just like right there for you. So we're on an 18-month or so journey. So I want you to just be ready and be receptive to what comes. And remember, because you're co-creating, you're an active participant in this vibrational shift that you're making. When things don't feel good, we take a step back and we recognize perhaps some things have to be let go. And when things feel good, we want to focus on we want more and see what the universe brings to you. Rachel, what's your question for me tonight?
You know what? I was in deep meditation. I had two questions.
Yes.
And I didn't know which one to ask. And I feel like you kind of just answered it for me. I feel a career change, school coming. I don't know where I'm going to go to school or how I'm even going to make it happen. And there was some stuff with relationships.
Yes.
Not my boyfriend himself, but the kid's mother, and how horrible she's been making it for everyone.
Yeah, it's been very toxic. I feel like in the energy, and thoughts are energy, I feel like her energy is sending like this really dark cloud over everything connected to him and the children, and she's complicating everything. And she's robbing him of peace, and he just can't catch a break. And that impacts the communication and the flow and the harmony is the word they give me of the relationship. So my suggestion is call upon Archangel Michael to kind of cut away the cords of this entanglement that she's creating. We understand. It's difficult. It's difficult to let go. We all have empathy. Everyone's been through something in a relationship breakup, so we get it. However, she really needs to let go and just comply. And I don't see her complying with what she needs to do for the higher good of the children.
Yeah.
And it's impacting his moods as well, because he's very sensitive to this. It's like a wound that she keeps putting salt on, and it's burning.
Yeah.
And so this energy is cutting you. So I want you to put the whole household in a shield of light and ask the angels to protect you. And I want you to remember that the conquering power of God goes before you. So the power of God can never be defeated. And she's in her feelings. And earlier we talked about the inner voice versus the personality conditions. So she's coming from her personal wounds, which run deep. Yeah. And they triggered each other spectacularly. I mean, it was quite the movie. But now it's time to let it go. And Rachel, the relationship, well, that's going to take you in a new direction, because there's a second step for the relationship. I feel as we calm down this personal issue that he has with the mother of the children, he's going to step into being a little more free. And I see the relationship growing and getting closer. And I see the two of you moving on to another step. I also feel as if he too should be reinventing himself and kind of looking at things a little differently. And as he's in a clearer mind and more centered, this will happen for him. And as far as school, the how am I going to get there? This is going to happen. You have this new opportunity coming for you, and there's a different positioning of something that brings you passion, compassion, and opens you up to be of service, not just the day-to-day working 9 to 5, right? What a way to make a living. You're working on something else for yourself. And this is going to be in more of a creative flow for you, and it's going to shift your life and other people's lives. So I want you to think outside the box. And if money were not an object, because it's not an object, it flows to us, it's a current, it's energy, it's always coming. It's we who pinch it off, right? And so as we open up the spigot so the money can flow, I want you to trust that something magnificent is going to happen, and that everything you need and desire will be provided, because I see it in the electronic substance that is around you. So it's up to you to reach up and grab it. It's kind of like that tube where the people stand in the tube and they grab for money and they shove it in the apron and then they run out and see how much money they've got. You've got so much around you. And you have some great support. There are some great people in your camp who are supporting this change. So you're very blessed in that area. And there's a lot of support from the angels and the guides. They say that you speak with them. And your Indian spirit guide is very powerful around you. So I want you to talk to your Indian spirit guide and ask your Indian spirit guide to walk with you on the journey. They take you on a journey that walks you through the changes. This guide would be the guide for the tribe, to go out beyond where the tribe was to see where their next spot would be when it was time to move. So he would scout out ahead and then come back to the tribe and say, it is safe, we will go this way. And you are going to follow the guidance of your Indian spirit guide. This is going to be a monumental shift for you. It's a earth-shattering shift in a way that things that you need to break around you, they're going to break. And they're going to fall away so that you can step through the rubble and move forward. But don't try to micromanage it. Don't try to control it. Don't worry about how. It's in the details that God works the best. As humans, we mess that part up. Okay?
Amen. Yeah, I felt that. I have the chills.
Good.
Everything was spot on. Sarah, thank you so much. You're amazing.
Welcome. Thank you. It is my
really
pleasure. And thank you for following us in New York. We greatly appreciate that, Rachel.
Absolutely, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thank
Bye.
you. Okay, bye.
888-565-1470. And I've got to go to Angeli. I think that's the name. And she's in West Palm Beach, Florida. We are in our wonderful state of Florida. Angeli, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing well. And my. It is time to get yourself ready for some movement in work. We need to build the flow. Are we choosing to make a shift at work at this time?
Yes.
It is necessary. You are
sure
stuck.
is.
You're stuck like a duck in the mud. I don't know what's going on, girl, but you're stuck. And when I see this energy, I'm like, man, it's like you can't catch a break there. They're not letting you do what you came to do, what you're meant to do. And so my guides are like, well, then heck, she needs to follow what's the next path for herself, because there's added learning, added growth that you can bring into your energy so that you can not just get another job, but a better job and a better role and up-level your qualifications. Is there something that you're entertaining at this time? Because this is what I see that's available for you.
Just a new business venture.
Okay.
That I've invested in. I have all the products. I just haven't made the move. I don't know what move to make. I thought I was there, and then I just went like 10 steps backwards.
Okay. So you need a mentor, you need some training, you need something else, okay? Because apparently we can't quite do it on our own yet. And that's not a bad thing. That just means that we need someone to put their hand out and say, oh, walk this way.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'd be happy to coach you and guide you. And I also have a business class that will be coming back around in the next month and a half. But I'd be happy to have a session with you. I know you're local in West Palm, but whatever works for you, I think we should sit because you have all the tools. You know, I go back to the energy of when I was in Mary Kay Cosmetics, and people would sell cosmetics, skincare products. Sometimes people would get excited about the opportunity, but then they would hit this wall. And there was a part of them that didn't feel like they were worthy to be an entrepreneur. They weren't good enough. They were motivated, but they just didn't know how. And what many people have difficulty with in starting their own business and doing something such as what you're about to do with products is that they don't know how to connect with enough people. And everyone says, oh, it's easy, just follow this blueprint. It's about building relationships. It's about connecting. It's about putting it out there so people understand what the product offers and does and the benefits. And it takes a certain way to market and distribute that information so that people, even if you haven't met them personally, they build a relationship with you. And people take their time and they watch from afar. And as they watch and they build a trust and understanding, they purchase. And then once we build the momentum, it takes off. So there's a strategy here that's missing that I feel like someone didn't share with you. Perhaps the people who helped you get set up, they just kind of left you there. And suddenly there's a numbness, a fear that's kind of building up inside of you, even though you're strong and you know what to do. You see the big picture. That's what made you go in this direction. But you need a little schooling, a little mentoring. There's something else we need to do here. And it is a year that's meant to bring you abundance. So I know we're in the 5th month already. I can't believe it. But this year will be an abundant year, and you will be abundant beyond measure. And you need to claim that. But you need to get out of the stuck feeling that is holding you a prisoner. So who poo-pooed this idea, I ask you? Who made you not feel good enough about doing this?
I mean, life. I mean, personally, I think the only issue that's stopping me from business is just having the personal stability.
But the business will bring you stability. Yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know it will.
Okay.
I believe in it.
Okay. So we have to find a way to separate ourselves from the personal experience and disconnect. For instance, I've been talking to people on radio for 13 years. I've been at the center for 16. Life happens around me, but the minute I step into my role, I leave it at the door. It's on a shelf. It's like with Elf on the Shelf. It's over there. And I don't let it creep in my mind. And when it does, I'm like, no, not the time right now. And I tell myself to back it up and just focus on what's in front of me. You're allowing the emotions and the distraction. And I understand there's quite a few facets to this story. I do understand. Spirit tells me it's embroiled and entangled and it's complicated. I get it. But at this moment, the only way forward is to focus on your business. You need to feel the fear and do it anyway. You need to rise above the obstacle. And if you can't walk over it, you need to go around it. You need to go above it. You need to dig underneath it. But you need to move. Because this is the time in the energy, even with the planets, that we need to take action. Because it's time to go. And the universe has abundance waiting for you. And you always saw yourself, even as a little one, as an expert, an entrepreneur. You've always seen yourself as abundant and having abundance. But why are we dealing with people who are pulling you down? I don't know. What is that?
I don't know.
So then I go to when you were 6, 7, and 8. The imbalance at 7, what was going on? Because you're attracting these unstable experiences. So what was unstable when you were 7? This is where I connect. My guides go, oh no, we had instability. And so if things aren't feeling out of whack and you're not in fight or flight or putting out fires, you almost don't know what to do with yourself. This is true, yes?
I guess so.
It's your pattern. Follow the pattern and trace it back to where you were. I know. But just when you're tired, most people quit right before they win. So if you're tired, I say good, because it's going to force you to change. If you're tired, it's going to make you say, all right, I've got to be stronger. But apparently my human self, not strong enough. I need the angels. I need God. I need intervention. Not from a human. I need divine intervention here and now. And you need to call for it. All right? It's there for you.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to work with you. Keep me posted.
So that kind of trickles down to what I wanted to know in the beginning, because I've been getting on your site multiple times, and I'm just like, I don't know what to book. Like, I said, for me personally, if I can book them all, I would.
Well, look at it this way. I always tell people, start with a general reading, a general session, and we sit and we see what's there before us. We see where the obstacles are, and we put you on your way. The next session that would help you tremendously is the soul integration, because the soul integration allows us to rescue your little girl who's trapped in the past. And she's fragmented from experiences that she couldn't deal with, so her higher self pulled her out. And she's stuck there in the memory of not feeling good enough or worthy or successful, that she couldn't have it all. And I'm here to tell you, you can have it all. Not because I say, because that is your birthright. That is the vision that you can have. And it is available to you. In the asking, it's given. So many things are always going on. And it's time for us to focus on where you want to be, not where you've been. But your little girl is holding on, thinking, I don't know. I'm going to get betrayed. I don't know. Everything's out of sorts. I don't know. I don't feel safe. I don't know. I don't know who to trust. I don't know. I don't feel loved. I don't feel worthy. I don't know. And that I don't know is creating that wobble, right? And hesitation makes us miss opportunities because you're stuck and you're in the fear. And fear is false evidence appearing real. So I want you to focus. I want you to focus, and I want you to remind yourself every day that in the moment of now, you're aligned with everything that is harmonic, abundant, divine. In the moment of now, you are the woman who is prosperous, successful, kind, compassionate, protected, and you stand in your power. Focus on that. Start with the general reading when it works for you, and we will make our schedules work, and then we'll move on to a soul integration in the future. And we'll do the work, and in a general reading, I can give you some business coaching so we can get you up and running. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Angeli. Thank you so much for following the show, and I hope to see you at the center real soon.
Thank you. Bye, Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye. 888-565-1470. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when I come back, I've got to go from West Palm Beach to Seattle. So stay with us, everyone. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Back here live on WWNN on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we are answering your questions all across the nation. And before we went to commercial, I was sharing. We got to go to Seattle. I got Melanie on the line. Melanie, how are you? Hey, Melanie.
Hello?
Yes, hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks for taking my call, Sarah. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. It's our pleasure. And Miss Melanie. I don't even know where to begin. I got to tell you.
I know. I don't even know where to begin.
Round and round, Miss Melanie goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. All right.
That's it. True.
So, Melanie, we got to get out of your head, get out of the confusion. When I look at this energy, the first thing they make me aware of is that this year is a year that might have started out a little bumpy, the end of last year into this year, but it's the catalyst for change. It is for you to reflect, and lucky for you, Mercury retrograde's coming, and it's going to make you reflect. And it's for you to see where you've been, what you've done, what you don't want to do anymore. And it's going to give you this opportunity to step into something new for yourself and a new positioning in how you live and how you choose to earn income and what you do to make your heart sing. I know, sounds a little Pollyanna-ish. Kind of sounds like we should be Miss Congeniality and Miss America, but this is where you're at. And it's a time for you to say, hey, I have done what I've done because I did what I did, because I did what I needed to do, and now I'm done doing what I need to do, and I want to do what I want to do. This makes sense to you, yes?
Yes, it does.
Yes. So what is the questioning around this round and round circles that you're making?
Well, I have a lot of great ideas.
Yes, you do.
And I have money saved to do some of these great ideas.
Okay.
Except I'm like, I get blocked because I'm like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? This is a great idea. So I'm just trying to, really hone in and focus.
Okay. So let's laser light connect right here, right now.
Yeah. So,
As I look at it.
This last week, I thought doing like a crystal shop.
Yes.
That was my last idea, which
and
I love crystals.
Here's the energy. You will do something that is along the line of spiritual alignment, healing, connectivity. This is where I see you. Because your angels and guides, they have been prompting you for quite a while. Okay?
Yes, they have.
And they were actually knocking on your door. I need to go back. They were knocking on your door. There's a lot of people up there too for you, I got to tell you. Because suddenly everybody's talking.
I know.
Everyone's talking to me now. I'm like, well, I'm trying to talk. Why are we talking to me, people? But I have this energy here that shows me that when I take you back to 2013, 2014, you were being prompted to change back then, but you were stuck.
Yeah,
you were
my
stuck.
reawakening. Yep.
Yeah, you were stuck in yourself. You didn't know how to break the matrix that you were caught in. Obligations, responsibility. Now we don't have that. There's a woman connected to you, Melanie, who stands in like a motherly position. Mother has passed, please, Melanie?
No, my mother still. It's probably my great-grandma.
Was she like a mother to you? She mentored you. She was there for you. This woman is kind of motherly over you. So it's this beautiful energy. Let me share with you what she has. She's showing me this energy of she made sure everybody had what they needed, but it's like she created things. Like some of your creativity comes from this lineage of the maternal side. Does that make sense to you? Okay.
It may be my great-grandma or my recent grandma. I mean, both they've been passed. I never met my great-grandma, but
so
my
it
grandma I did.
Must be grandma. So let me work with this for just a minute, Melanie, because she's bringing me in. Interesting. You haven't. Maybe your mom has it. I don't know if I don't feel like you have it. An Afghan from grandma, please.
I don't have an Afghan from
but
grandma.
I think your mom has it. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I said you, and then I went no. Your mom has it. There's an Afghan from your grandmother.
Okay.
And there's something that grandma made connected to Afghans and something she created with yarn. So that'd be interesting to see what she created, because she's showing me, looks like she's crocheting up there because of how her hands are moving to me. So there's something connected to her that's still in the house of your mom that brings her this energy, brings her energy into the household. And your grandmother is spiritual in her way, her religious side, but she has her spiritual side. And your mom is very intuitive in her own way as well. Is this true? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Your grandma makes me feel like she did come to you in a dream. I don't know if you recall, but she makes me feel like she came to you in a dream because she tells me you get visions in your dreams as well, yes?
I do, yes.
And she also makes me aware of these caverns of crystals. Like, did you go somewhere to get crystals yourself, or were you saying, I want to go somewhere and
I want to go to my crystal mining. That's kind of what I want to do.
That's what I see.
I actually did work that with past lifetimes as well.
Okay. I see you crystal mining more for the fun of it and the experience.
Yeah.
Not so much because that's a lot of mining to fill a crystal shop. But I get a hard yes for this crystal shop idea. And I'm so glad you called because I saw your Facebook question. So I know this is the right path for you. And it won't just be crystals. There'll be some other things there connected to spirituality. You're learning to really tune into your guides and your meditation. Yeah. And crystals are so powerful for healing. And it's a great opportunity for you. And this year, as a catalyst for change, I believe that's the word I used when I first went on, this catalyst for change will put you very much in place on or around the time of your birthday to begin this movement in this direction.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
And we find the perfect spot.
I was born in Mercury in retrograde, so I was told that it's not quite as harmful to me.
No,
as
it's
it could
not.
be to some people.
No, if you're born in Mercury retrograde, a lot of things can get moving forward. But this is a time to be inspired, to look at the ideas, and to most certainly take this crystal shop idea and begin to envision it and keep it to yourself. Hold the vision within, kind of sketch it out, create the vision of it, and it will come to pass. And by 2023, you'll be all systems go.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome,
I've had a couple readings with you in the past, but I need another one very soon. So I really
look forward
appreciate
to that. I look forward to connecting with you, and we'll brainstorm some more. All right, Melanie. Thank you so much for following me from Seattle. Sending you much love, and I can't wait to hear how great it's going to take off for you. Bye for now.
Blessing. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, just like that, 633 live shows. Boop. The night flew. I'm so glad to be here with all of you, and we welcome you back next Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. for Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a big month. It's our 13-year anniversary, and we've got a lot coming up. So we sure hope you continue to grow with us and follow the Sarah spiritual path, because as we follow the yellow brick road, we know our guides and angels are going to assist us all the way. Dig down deep. Listen to that inner voice. You are connected. Follow the prompting. Your angels are with you. Your guides are with you. All of our loved ones are with you. And trust me, they're rooting for us. It's a little sticky down here on earth, but we'll get through it. United we stand, and we're going to stand in the light. God bless you. Thanks for listening. And I am Sarah Spiritual.
Shines down upon me, and there's a light that brightens up my day. There's a light leading the way. Oh, there's a light. There's a light, there's a light that opens doors for everyone. Oh, there's a light that touches.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answers your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinion